We live on a planet of vast resources, and every day we make billions of decisions about who can use them and who can't. Economists model this relationship using two basic parameters. The first is excludability, the physical or legal ability to prevent someone who hasn't paid for a thing from using it. If you can use it for free, like a public trash can, it is non-excludable. Exclusion often comes down to cost. To restrict access to a wild fish population in the open ocean, you would have to deploy a private fleet to guard them. Since that protection costs more than the fish are worth, the resource remains open. The second parameter is rivalry, or subtractability. This describes whether one person using a good physically depletes another person's ability to use it. If you eat an apple, it is gone. It has been used up. By measuring these two variables, how we gatekeep and how we consume, we can map our relationship with every single non-human object on the planet. We visualize this relationship with a matrix, placing excludability on one axis and rivalry on the other. Highly rivalrous, gate-kept things are private goods, like a car. Depletable items impossible to fence off are common goods, like wild fisheries. Then there are club goods, which are excludable but non-rivalrous, meaning access is restricted by a paywall, but multiple people can use the resource simultaneously without using it up. At a movie theater, you must buy a ticket to enter, but your viewing doesn't subtract from the experience of the person sitting next to you. The final quadrant contains public goods. These are resources that are non-rivalrous and non-excludable. Anyone can use them and no one depletes them. A lighthouse broadcasts a signal that protects every ship in the area. It serves all sailors equally, regardless of who paid for its construction. While this grid appears to establish definitive laws of nature, applying these categories to the real world reveals how unstable they actually are. Non-rivalry is rarely absolute. It operates on a threshold where adding one more user is free only until the resource hits its limit. A highway is non-rivalrous until rush hour hits critical mass. Suddenly, new drivers slow everyone else down, making the road behave like a rivalrous good. Some goods even reverse this rule, becoming more valuable as they become more crowded. Being the only person with a telephone in the 1870s had zero value. The device only gains utility as your neighbors join the network. Non-excludable goods also face the free rider problem. If a company tried to sell clean air to a city, they couldn't stop people from breathing it for free, making it nearly impossible to convince customers to pay. Because private markets struggle to price or exclude free riders, society typically relies on the government to provide public goods using tax dollars. If we track a single object as it moves through the world, we can see these economic properties change in real time. A wild fish is a non-excludable common good, but the second it is snatched from the water and placed in a supermarket display, it becomes a strictly excludable private good. A hammer behaves as a private good on a store shelf, but it morphs into a common good the moment you toss it onto a shared workbench for your family to use. The physical composition of the fish and the hammer never changed. Rivalry and excludability are not physical traits inherent to these objects. These categories map our human relationships and the rules we've built around specific objects. We call this invisible web of societal agreements property rights. Property rights govern abstract concepts like the value of a scenic lieu or the acceptable noise level in a residential area. Ultimately, the labels we assign to the world are just the social contracts we make with each other to manage a shared planet.